Breaking news, there was a robbery in Charlotte on Monday night. The victim, Payton Wilson.
You are Locked On Wolfpack, your daily podcast on the NC State Wolfpack, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
What's up, Wolfpack Nation? Welcome back to another episode of Locked On Wolfpack, free and available wherever you get your podcast and on YouTube, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day. Today's episode is brought to you by Gametime. Download the Gametime app, create an account, and use code LOCKEDONCollege for $20 off your first purchase. Happy Tuesday to all. As always, I'm Grayson Boone, joined by former Wolfpack defensive tackle Kenton Gibbs. You know, in hindsight, I think this episode probably should have been a live stream episode because we got a lot of hot air to get off our chest in this one. Of course, we will start in no other place than Payton Wilson getting absolutely robbed. A thievery. There was a thievery afoot in Charlotte on Monday night. Payton Wilson was robbed of the Bronco Nagurski trophy. This is the nation's best defender. And I'll start here. Fantastic point made by our guy, Ryan Williams. How did Xavier Watts win this award as the nation's best defender when he's not a finalist for his own position group in the Jim Thorpe Award? How?
And for those of you who don't understand, I'll break this down to an analogy based on pie. We all love pie. We all love cakes. We all love pastries. But let's use pie for this instance, right? Let's say that there was a pie baking competition and you didn't get to bake multiple pies. You baked one pie and this pie would be used in all the competitions going forward, okay? Now, let's say I baked the pie for the City of Raleigh's competition and I ended up finishing 4th or 5th. How under God's green earth could I then win for best pie in the state of North Carolina? It doesn't make sense. How then could I even win for the best in Wake County? I didn't win for my area. It is amazing to me. I want to let y'all know the nation's best defender is a DB who's not even a finalist for the nation's best DB award. The math is refusing to math, y'all. It's refusing to math. And I'll say this. Notre Dame got away with for years doing the whole Catholics versus convicts thing with Miami. I say shame on you, Notre Dame, because you all are the thieves stealing another award from Payton Wilson. If we want to go back a little bit in time, hop in the Wayback Machine with me. We're going Sherman and Mr. Peabody on you here. Go back to 2020, okay? Go back to 2020 when Notre Dame had to find a conference to be a part of because teams were only playing in their little conference bubbles. And Notre Dame said, I guess if y'all make us, I guess we'll join your little conference. Whatever. And somehow, Jeremiah Owusu-Koramoah ended up winning the Defensive Player of the Year despite playing the exact same position as Payton Wilson, having worse stats than him across the board. This is 2 times like Gucci that this man was robbed. Listen, if you tell me that there was a robbery in Charlotte, I'm like, was it on Sugar Creek? It get dangerous over there. It get kind of treacherous. Stop playing around. But to see that this young man had this award taken away from him when he deserved it, this was his award. He had earned it. His play on the field warranted it. There was nobody else who was close. And you're going to tell me that, again, a player who is not the best at his position is somehow the best defender in the nation. Stop playing. Stop playing, man. In all things that we can be in this life, the first one should be for real. And we were not that in this decision. At this point in time, I've had enough of human committees. Make the computers decide it all. Let the computers decide it all, because I done had enough. This is terrible. This is just awful.
Yeah, after the announcement was made, I immediately fired off the tweet that at least something has been made very clear here in the last couple days, and that's that ACC football games clearly don't matter. They clearly just don't matter. Why even bother playing the season if nothing that happens in the middle of those seasons gets accounted for at the end of the year? Why bother? Why even suit them up? What's the point? You want to talk about stats here? Let's dive into some of these stats between Xavier Watts and Payton Wilson. Total tackles. Xavier Watts, 47. Payton Wilson, 138.
Yeah.
Nearly 100-pieced him in total tackles.
Yeah.
Solo tackles. Xavier Watts, 29. Payton Wilson, 69. 40 more. Sacks. Xavier Watts, goose egg, 0. Payton Wilson, 6. 6 of them things. Forced fumbles. They both have 1. Draw. Fumble recoveries. Xavier Watts, 1. Payton Wilson, 2. Picks. Xavier Watts, 7. Payton Wilson, 3 as a linebacker. And one of them was a pick 6. What are we talking about? If you want to go the impact route, what they meant to their team, Payton Wilson is this NC State defense. You heard Dave Dorn talk about it in the intro. Payton Wilson is the heartbeat of this defense. Payton Wilson is the heartbeat of this team. We've talked about it all year. After that Duke loss in Durham, I'm going to bring it up for the 87th time. Payton Wilson said this team needs to get a whole lot tougher. And damn if they didn't get a whole lot tougher, because after that point, the season was a new season. Completely flipped the script. There is no one that is a better defender, and there's no one that maybe means more to their team in the country than Payton Wilson means to NC State. This award is now a sham. It is illegitimate. They basically lied about who the best defender is.
I'll make this very simple. If the stats aren't enough and you say, well, we don't go by stats, we go by impact, I very genuinely want you to watch that Notre Dame defense again, because I don't believe Watts was the best defender on that team.
He's not even the best defender on his team.
I think that corner number 5, I think he's the guy. I think he's the best defender on that team. And he's got 3 linebackers in front of him, all 4th year or later.
Yes.
That young man had a situation around him to be excellent, to excel, to do all the things. And to be honest, he had a phenomenal year. And I'll say this, Payton Wilson, I don't know if you're going to hear this or not, but brother, if you ever find yourself traveling through South Bend, Indiana, make sure that you loudly announce, I do not carry cash. There is no money on my cards. Keep a money clip with you. Let me tell you, I'm from the west side of Detroit. I'm telling you what you need to know. In high crime areas, you got to keep a money clip with you with about $10, $15 inside that thing. Make sure it's all singles so that they think it's a lot of money in there. That if somebody tries to rob you, because it's very clear that those boys in Notre Dame love robbing you in particular, grab the clip, throw it, and then run in the opposite direction, okay? That's what you need to do, because at this point in time, I don't know what else he could have done. I really don't. Did he need 8 interceptions? Did he need 9 interceptions? What could he have done to show y'all he's ever active, ever present, ever moving and grooving? What more could the man do? I very seriously want to know. I want to know what the conversation was. I hate musicals, but I'm going to quote one right now. In terms of Lin-Manuel Miranda's Hamilton, I want to be in the room where it happens, because I want to know how this decision was made. I want to see the decision makers sit down, and I want to know the exact metric that was used to determine, hey, Watts is better. Watts has been better than Wilson this year. And I'm not even joking about that. In my heart of hearts, I really and truly want to see that.
I don't think there's a single thing you can point to that would indicate that Xavier Watts had a better year than Payton Wilson. Not a single thing. So to hear that conversation, yeah, if anyone can get their hands on that, send it to us.
I know exactly how the conversation went. I know exactly. This is how the conversation went. Guys, what are we doing here? This young man has nearly 140 tackles. Yes, but this one has a gold helmet. Game in and game out, from start to finish of the season, you can't find a bad game on this young man. Tape-wise or statistically, what are we doing here? He's clearly your player of the year. Hear me out. I understand, and I get you. But, number one, he has more interceptions. Number two, Marcus Freeman's hairline is really cool. Have you seen his designs in his fade? Dora could never pull off that fade. Come on. What are we doing here? What are we doing? Oh, okay. All right. I get you. Payton Wilson's leading this team in tackles for loss and an attacking style defense that has everybody playing downhill. I understand, but does he play on NBC? Are all of his home games on NBC, brother? That's all I'm asking. He playing on the CW. Hey, he can't compete with the NBC love there. So again, this is the second time that Payton Wilson has had an award that belongs to him, that goes to him, that it's his, that's just stolen from him.
Did you mention that Watts has a gold helmet? I think that's pretty important.
I think so. I think so. You know, again, they played in Dublin, Ireland. How many tackles did Payton Wilson make in Dublin, Ireland? Maybe that was the metric by which they said most international tackles. See, Payton Wilson's still tackling domestically. He ain't stepped his cookies up yet. You know what I mean? Like,
international tackles count for 2?
No, they count for 12. Actually, that's why he's so far ahead of him. Because again, this is no ordinary tackle. This is a tackle with a little Ireland in it.
And he's got a gold helmet, man.
Yeah, he does.
Up next, we're going to keep the hot air blowing out here. MJ Morris went on 247 Sports to tell his side of the story. It's time to officially put this to bed after a quick word from our sponsors. Our first sponsor of the day is Gametime. You shouldn't have to worry when you're buying tickets to your next big event, possibly the Pop-Tarts Bowl coming up in Orlando. Gametime is the fastest and easiest way to buy tickets for all the sports, music, comedy, and theater events near you. With killer last-minute deals, all-in prices, views from your seat, and their best price guarantee, Gametime takes the guesswork out of buying tickets. See the view from your seat before you buy so you know exactly what to expect when you arrive. Their all-in prices show your total up front so you know the great deal you're getting without hidden fees. And you can buy tickets in just seconds with a number of taps. Gametime has deals on tickets right up to the start of the event and even an hour after it starts. So if you're looking for tickets down in Orlando to see NC State take on the Kansas State Wildcats in the Pop-Tarts Bowl, look no further than Gametime. Download the Gametime app, create an account, and use code LOCKEDONCOLLEGE for $20 off your first purchase. How about that? $20 off your Pop-Tart Bowl tickets on Gametime. Download the Gametime app, create an account, and use code LOCKEDONCOLLEGE for $20 off your first purchase. Gametime. Last-minute tickets, lowest price guaranteed. Locked On has launched the first ever national sports 24/7 streaming channel on YouTube. Locked On Sports Today is here for you 24/7, covering the top sports stories of the day with the local experts of Locked On, plus our national shows covering every league. Go to Locked On Sports Today on YouTube and subscribe to the first ever national sports 24/7 streaming channel. But while we're on the topic of 24/7 streaming channels, MJ Morris went on the 24/7, or I guess 247 Transfer Portal Palooza, I believe it was called, on Monday to effectively tell his side of the story, breaking his silence after picking back up his red shirt and then ultimately transferring out of the program effective on Monday. And what I heard from MJ Morris confirmed what all the NC State fans have been saying is he quit. He was given the QB1 job by Coach Dave Doeren and effectively said, actually, Coach, I don't want this yet. I want it next year. Is that cool with you guys? And Dave Doeren said, no, actually it's not. We'll let you sit down, but we're going to be looking for quarterbacks next year. You take that however you will. And that's where we are today.
I would like to say 24/7 Sports, don't just clip MJ explaining Doran's reaction. Also clip in the part where we explain how we got here, right? Yes. That's important as well, because I think that it's journalistic malpractice darn near to only say that part. Grayson and I had known exactly this situation for a while. Of course, I have my sources that had told me, hey, this is what's going on. And everything that MJ said was true. Everything that MJ said, according to the sources I have, they match up perfectly. The stories have 100% symmetry. Here's the problem. The reality of, and this is not me coming at MJ. This is me coming to 24/7 Sports. When you only put up MJ Morris saying, I redshirted with the intent to come back and da-da-da-da, you're not explaining the full picture. When did you redshirt? did you red shirt, brother? Imagine that person that you know, who you know, like, you got some really questionable character. It's just like, woe is me. My partner left me, and I'm blindsided. I don't know what happened. I was just so perfect. I did everything I could. I'm just blindsided. And then their partner gets online and posts very clear evidence and proof of them cheating repeatedly with their best friend on their birthday. Obviously, you needed the context of what happened. By itself, it looks a certain way. And again, MJ has every right to say, I am never going to be against players using their power, using their platform, using all their things. Again, this ain't about MJ. This is about the journalistic malpractice to publish that, to say, look, players get forced out in the portal, but to sit up here and act as if there was nothing that drove Doran to say, hey, we're going to look for a starter in the portal. After you sat down, brother, the team had to go find another starter again during the season, not the next season. So what are we doing? Come on, stop playing. 24/7 Sports, if you're going to publish something, publish all of what happened. Come on, man. You're better than that. Be better than that. Maybe you aren't better than that, but be better than that, damn it.
The main part here is, yes, I agree. MJ had every right to take his red shirt. He had every right to, look after himself, enter the portal, NIL, whatever. That's a business decision on his part. So the other half of this is the coaching staff has to take appropriate measures from there. And so I want to give all the credit in the world here because I think Dave Doran handled the entire situation correctly. You had to come into this season, you had to go into the portal, and you had to take a quarterback. You want to take the best player that you can possibly take in that situation. In this particular situation, it's Brennan Armstrong because he knows the playbook. So from there, the situation developed into MJ would sit this year. He was going to redshirt from the jump. He was going to learn the playbook, get valuable reps in practice, and he'll be ready to go by the time the next year rolls around. Yeah. Obviously, things were not going that well at the beginning of the year with Armstrong. So Dave comes to MJ and says, hey, we need a spark. We think you're the spark. Would you like to come in and play and see where this goes? We can turn the season around and we'll have further discussions about the red shirt. MJ says, okay, but yes, I would still like to red shirt. We go 3-1 from there, but each week MJ's reminding Coach Doran, hey, I want a red shirt. Hey, I want a red shirt. Hey, coach, please don't forget, I want a red shirt. Coach Doran is operating as he should, as your team is winning football games, that now MJ has assumed the QB1 role. You were given the job. You now have the QB1 job. That was your overall goal in preparing to be quarterback one here. You have the job now. It's yours.
Yeah.
For you to then sit back down after we go 3-1, building momentum, there's no other way to look at this as you quit on your team. You did. Now, you did what you had to do for yourself. That's fine. But you also quit on your team mid-season. That part is true. And so for Coach Doran to then say, at the end of the year here, hey, we're going to go in another direction. We're going to look for 2 quarterbacks, deal with that however you need to, but this is what we're doing. That is the correct way to handle this situation. So I want to give Coach Doran credit because in a tough situation here, I think he handled it correctly. He handled it perfectly. MJ here, he made his decision. And best of luck to you. I sincerely hope that this is probably the last time we address this because we need to just move on as Wolfpack Nation.
And I also want to add in a little bit more context in terms of what was still on the table at that time, right? You're looking at a team that I believe it was after the Miami game that he decided to sit back down, correct?
Yes.
Okay, so you're looking at a team that was 6-3 and still very much so in contention for a conference championship. Still very much so in contention for 10 wins. That's what you're looking at. That's the other thing. Because if this was a 3-6, 3-7 team at that point, if this was a team that's like, hey, brother, the best we could do is go to the Quick Lane Bowl in Detroit. I love my city, but if that was the best absolute ceiling of what could happen, I could understand MJ's thought of like, hey, let me sit down and the thought of like, hey, not mad at him. But when the second 10-win season or the second double-digit win season in program history is on the table, when the ACC championship appearance, which could mean a win, is still on the table, disheartened to say the least about this thing. Disheartened to say the least. in terms of, again, MJ has the right to tell his side of the story. MJ has the right to do all those things. But again, add the context.
Yes.
Tell the truth. Because painting half a picture, what are we doing? Again, tell the whole truth if you're going to tell the truth 24. Love and respect to the Morris family. I hope y'all have all the success and win every game y'all play, everywhere y'all go besides here, except against the red and white. But with that being said, again, I think that it's some very nasty business going on in the Portalpalooza episode in terms of what they decided to clip and how they decided to frame what they clipped.
MJ was not pushed out. He was not asked to leave. He was given the quarterback job. He said he didn't want it. NC State moves on from there. That is the end of the story. Up next, we're going to round this out with a couple portal updates that happened on Monday. A couple big names to come across our desk early in the transfer portal season. Let's talk about them after a quick word from our sponsors. Our second sponsor of the day is LinkedIn. When you're hiring for your small business, you want to have as many top-tier candidates as possible to interview. That's why you have to check out LinkedIn Jobs. LinkedIn Jobs has the tools to help find the right professionals for your team faster and for free. LinkedIn isn't just another job board. LinkedIn has a vast network of more than 1 billion professionals, which makes it the best place to hire. Hiring is simply easier when you have that many quality candidates. So easy, in fact, that 86% of small businesses get a qualified candidate within just 24 hours. LinkedIn knows that small businesses are wearing so many hats and might just not have the time or resources to hire. So thankfully with LinkedIn, the process is intuitive, quick, and easy. They even just launched a feature that helps you write job descriptions, making the process even quicker and easier. Post your job for free at linkedin.com/lockedoncollege. That's linkedin.com/lockedoncollege to post your job for free. Terms and conditions apply. Last couple minutes here on Tuesday, a little bit of a portal update from things we saw hit our desk on Monday. It certainly appears that Grayson McCall, the quarterback from Coastal Carolina, is the top quarterback target at the moment for NC State. The reports are the in-home visit over the weekend went very well. So well that he's going to be visiting Raleigh this coming weekend. So have to imagine that would mean he's probably at the top of their board at the moment. So we'll keep our ear to the ground on that one. Another big name here, Dalen Smothers, also known as Hollywood Smothers, hit the portal. He's a 4-star running back from Charlotte, entering the portal after just 1 year at Oklahoma. 4 years of eligibility left. He was a top priority recruit coming out of high school for NC State. Here's the kicker. High school teammate of KC Concepcion, Hollywood Smothers. Come on home, young fella. You just saw what your boy did here at State. Up next, possibly you. Investors, possibly you. It could be you here in the red and white getting it done for the Wolfpack. Come on home. There seems to be a lot of high-level names from the Raleigh/Charlotte/North Carolina area that were either heavily recruited by NC State or they had high school teammates that are currently at NC State. A lot to like here when these names are starting to float around. I also saw we offered wide receiver from Wake Forest and Wesley Grimes, also from the Raleigh area.
Yeah.
Come on back home. This needs to be a homecoming this transfer portal season.
I'm going to age myself a little here, but who cares? Growing up, I used to watch a show all the time with my family called 227, okay? And in the theme song, it started off like so. There's no place like home, When your family's around you, you're never alone. Listen, y'all, there's no place like home. Come on back. Come on back. We're waiting on you. We're hoping and wishing and praying to get you. Come on back home, both of you. Come on, Mr. Grimes, come on back. I know you was out there struggling in Winston-Salem in terms of ain't nothing to do out there, man. Ain't nothing to do out there. You're local to the area. You know the area. Come on back. Hollywood. Come on to Raleighwood.
Right.
Make it happen, brother. Listen, all I'm saying is this. Our running back 1 from last year is gone. Our running back 2 from last year is gone. Come on back. Come on back. It's time. It's time. Come on. Our number 1 rusher, our number 5 and 6 rushers, all gone, okay? The only guys that we're bringing back is 2, 3, and 4. 2 is a receiver by the name of Kevin Concepcion. 3 is Kendrick Raphael. he's a full-time running back all the time. Delbert Mims is a short yardage specialist. So, seems to me, it's a whole lot of touches available. Whole lot of touches available. Come on, both of y'all. Both of you. You know your boy Lex Thomas. You know your boy Lex. He already here. Come on, Wesley. Come on, Mr. Grimes. Come on with it. You want them? We got them. Dripping like water. Receptions available. Come get some.
We talked about NC State elevating themselves at the right time of the year here, getting to 9 wins, getting to a marquee bowl, getting against or facing a ranked team in this bowl, dominating your rival on a big stage, all before portal season opens with a lot of players who have connections to this area. You talk about a potential offense here next year. KC, Juice Farine, Kendrick Raphael, Dakari Collins, Jamar Boston, Terrell Anderson, Jonathan Paylor, potentially Wesley Grimes, potentially Hollywood Smothers, potentially another wide receiver from up north that I won't mention by name until it's possible. Hello. Robert and I is your offensive coordinator. Quarterback is pending. Hello. We could be a menace offensively here in Raleigh. An absolute menace.
A menace with a defensive coordinator that man could put out he could put out 11 baby giraffes that are just learning how to walk. And I'm sure that by the end of the season, those baby giraffes would have their dog patterns down amazingly, because that's the type of coach I believe Tony Gibson is. I mean, this team has the opportunity to build something special here. And we talk about the stability and the baseline of like 9 to 10, because 10 this year would be crazy. But this year could truly be a stepping stone into like NC State ascending a level. Like, and I know that a lot of people are going to look at me like I'm crazy. Remember when we came into this season and I said, I can see this team winning 9 to 11 games. I thought that 10 or 11 was their ceiling. And when everybody said I was crazy, and now look, 10, knocking on the door, let us in. This is an exciting time. It's an exciting time to be an NC State fan, to be a member of Wolfpack Nation in any capacity. And you know, in the words of one Nevadius Wilburn, jump man, them boys up to something. Them boys not just bluffing.
I'll tell you who is bluffing is the boys wearing the jump man.
Fair enough.
That'll do it for us here on Tuesday. As always, thank you all so much for tuning in with us. Be sure to hit that like button, drop your comments in the comment box. Tell us who you think is a potential attractive target for NC State to find in the portal. Tell us what you think. Actually, don't tell us what you think about the rest of the MJ Morris saga. We want to tie a bow on it. But do tell us what you think about Payton Wilson getting absolutely robbed in Charlotte of the Bronco Nagurski trophy, because he was. Tell us what you think. Sound off in the comments. And as always, mash that subscribe button. Tell a friend to then tell their friend and maybe their neighbors to hit that subscribe button. It's going to keep on climbing with this thing. Thank you all so much as always. Until tomorrow, go Pack.
Go Pack.